Hello everyone and welcome back to the ESV TV Korean Weekly Season 3 Week 1 Final Day 3 here. We're jumping in our next quarterfinal match. It's Life against Top. Let's take a look at these players. Bring these guys up here. By the way, chat is right now in subscriber only mode as we are up to a decent number of viewers. Thanks for watching. And if you want to be able to participate in chat, go ahead and subscribe. It's $20, not a month, but for the total 3 months, $20. And you not only get the subscriber chat, not only do you get the Space Shark Archon, which should be appearing soon, I hope. You not only get HD stream, but to me, the most important feature, you get full replay access to every single Korean Weekly game. All the games that are cast, including all the games that aren't cast. Just an unbelievably useful resource to be able to learn this game if you want to improve, or if you just want to see like in depth what's going on in these guys' builds and such. So let's take a look at these players though. Whoops, I'm still showing the old overlays. There it is, Life against Top, another ZVT here. Top, an excellent Terran, but I'm personally rooting for Life here, man. I'm such a fan of this guy. I've been a fan forever. He's only like 15 or 16, but he's like ridiculously talented, ridiculously good. As you can see, he got first place all the way back in the Korean Weekly number 6. Many moons ago, and since then he's just been impressing me all the time. His ZVT, he's got some really cool play with just Lingbane Roach, standard play, not like a Lingbane Roach all in, but just kind of like getting Roach speed, getting Bane speed, getting a lot of creep spread, then taking into Infestors later, getting double upgrades that he sometimes does. Sometimes we'll see fast muta play from him, but not that often. And his ZVP is awesome too. He's got some really cool tactics that a lot of players don't use. I've seen him he's one of the few players I've actually seen like burrow an entire like fleet of roaches and lings outside his third, wait for the Protoss to walk up with their all in, and then just unburrow right on top of them and just kill everything. It was a beauty to watch. So we're jumping into Vicious again though, and we already watched that in the last match, so let's jump right in and get it started. Here it is, guys. Game 1 in this best of 3 between Life in the 7 o'clock position, representing Team ZeNEX as our orange Zerg against his opponent in the 11 o'clock position. Top, our blue Terran, representing Old Generations. I am Orb, casting with me is AdaBeezy. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying our cast so far. If so, please follow us on Twitter. I am at ORBTL, and AdaBeezy is at AdaBeezy, SCADEBISI, SC. And by the way, guys, if you're watching and you see a little red rebroadcast text to the left above the mini-map, of course you are watching a rebroadcast. We're starting to do that a lot more now. We are actually going to be doing like basically, I don't know if we can actually accomplish this, but basically as much as possible, like 24/7 rebroadcast. So if you miss games you want to see, don't fret at all. Even right after the cast, we'll start a rebroadcast of it, so you can just kind of get an extra look at these games of anything you missed. Also check out our YouTube channel. It's brand new, could use some lovin'. It's youtube.com/ESVTVSC. And also, don't forget to tweet at TT Esports and thank them for being a brand new sponsor to the Korean Weekly, which is just so freaking awesome.
Yeah, big props to TT Esports for helping support this tournament. And yeah, it's funny, just to add on with the rebroadcasts, I noticed someone in chat at the start of this was like, oh man, these guys are still casting? It's like, so I guess some people didn't quite notice the rebroadcast, but no, we don't actually cast 24 hours straight. That
I do, man. I cast. Wait, I thought you cast in your sleep. What are you saying? Isn't that what you're saying?
I don't sleep, yeah. Cast my eyes closed.
Come on now. Wait, was that... Wait, now I feel bad. I'm confused. Was that Axel that said that? That was Axel, wasn't it? That said he casts in his sleep.
It must have been, because I never made that claim.
Yeah, okay, never mind. You're saying you don't cast 24/7. Axel Toss, a real baller out there, casts 24 hours a day, all day, every day. Bothers his roommates, but it's pretty baller. Pretty badass.
That is pretty hardcore.
I wish I could do that, man.
So just to get caught up on this game here, we've got Command Center first, and what looks like we'll see a second barracks coming out probably from top to follow this up, and a hatchery first with a gas before pool there for Life.
Yeah, Life likes being able to actually go up into some tech. He doesn't like just staying on, slow lings with no Banes or Roaches or any of that stuff. He likes to have the option to not only have speed, so he can take that third base and have some map control, but be able to tech into Roaches if he feels his opponent's going to go to Hellions, or tech into Banelings if he feels like he's going to face a lot of Marine aggression. He's a pretty dynamic player. There's that second barracks you're talking about from top, and we'll see if we see like just more barracks or double gas or a third command center or what. He hasn't thrown out anything just yet, so I'm just curious. I guess he's, just waiting to be able to drop, all those minerals into extra orbitals here. Or not extra orbitals, but, his first two orbitals.
Yep.
How come it didn't line up? Was his barracks, what happened?
His barracks was late, I feel. I don't know.
Yeah, usually both those orbitals are at the same time. When the command
exactly.
Center first.
Yeah.
So that was odd. I guess his second command center was a little bit late, and his barracks was quick after that. I don't know, something like that. But
yeah, I think so. I think that's exactly what happened. But no big hiccup, and he's actually going to go double gas after those two barracks. So we'll see what he wants to do. He may go for, some kind of factory play with Blue Flame. It's certainly possible. You kind of want something, and because once again, this kind of echoes what we saw in the Gumiho series. If you don't have a lot of Hellions out, and you're just massing barracks units, you can just kind of get overrun. But with Hellions, when you're getting cheesed, you can really make use of that unit to survive. So it'll be interesting to see what exactly we'll see here. Meanwhile, we do not have actually only one guy on gas here for life, so it doesn't look like he's doing anything too cheesy, but he is still just getting out a couple more Zerglings to be safe. And I just got to point out the natural... Oh, wait,
so
what?
That's a lot more than a couple, man. He just made 14 more Lings, actually.
That is a pretty hefty amount.
Wow, and 12 more. This is insane, man. Life's actually... I don't know if he's just doing this defensively or if he's expecting Hellions to come that he wants to surround or what, but that is a lot of Lings to make in preparation for Zergling speed, and all these Marines are going to die.
Yeah, so he cleaned those up super efficiently. The wall is completed here due to that third barrack. So these Zerglings won't really be able to do anything, and he doesn't have any gas to follow this up with a Baneling bust. So these Zerglings really can't accomplish much, but they will at least give him the map control, I would imagine, to just drone up hard and maybe even take a third base.
Absolutely. I love this SCV, though, from top. He sent it all the way around the edges of the map to get it hidden over here near the fourth, so you can actually scout out that third from the upper ground. I was actually wondering if maybe you'd proxy a factory or a starport or something crazy over there. Looks like we're going to see the drone come out from life, so he is going to get ready to drop that third right away here. Unfortunately, he's unable to really get too much scouting information with these Lings. Other than that, there's a full wall off here. Hopefully, he'll actually, continue scouting and be able to see that tech lab, see that timing to know that stim and combat shields are going to be that late would be very, very important. There he goes. He does see that tech lab on the way. I mean, you might otherwise think that there's a barracks in the main with the tech lab getting those upgrades. So Life's going to know what's up here. And actually, top, he's going up to what looks to be just kind of standard siege tanks, get some upgrades, but he's also adding a third command center. So he's really preparing for that straight up macro game.
Yep, and that's also what Life is doing with the double Evo chamber here. So both these guys gearing up nicely. Siege tanks on the way. The Zerglings just continue to poke in here, trying to see, are there any tanks behind there? Are there any Hellions behind there? What exactly is going on? I wouldn't be surprised to see him take that Overlord at the center left there and just sack that in so he could really get some information, because this is still pretty ambiguous. Of course, seeing that Tech Lab does kind of clue you in somewhat that, it's not going to be like 2-port Banshee or something insane like that, but still, he doesn't really know exactly what top is going for.
Yeah, it would be great to get some scouting on that. Finally, +1 does start for top just a little bit late, and that's going to be pretty problematic against the 1-1 even quicker than just +1. So Life going to be pretty far ahead on the upgrades. This tank on the upper ground waiting for that siege mode to be able to engage onto those Zerglings is going to cause just a little bit of problems for Life. But unfortunately for top, even though he scouted the third out with that SCV, he couldn't quite get close enough to see the double Evo chamber. So he doesn't know his opponent is rushing upgrades. He doesn't know that he's most likely rushing infestors as well. It just would have been a great tell to have, and unfortunately he doesn't have that. He's playing a little bit in the dark here, but I mean, that's all right. If he gets a lot of siege tanks, that could be great against this style. And he's adding on that starport, so he'll be able to start mixing in those medevacs finally. Additional barracks as well, so it just looks like everything Top's doing is just completely standard.
You know what I really love about Top's wall here is he's got those 2 supply depots, and he's actually moving his wall all around now. This wall, okay, I don't know what I think of this wall anymore. But those 2 depots were like a little kind of like wall that you could partially open and then go into the center and then rise it and then keep on going. But he's completely butchered his wall, and now there's a bunch of add-ons right there, so forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, he does have siege tanks defending, so he doesn't look like he's in too much trouble dealing with any type of early aggression. But Life rushing up 6 gas here. We definitely should be... Oh, wow, a Spire coming up from Life. This is actually something we've seen from him a lot in the past, is that he loves just... Well, usually he'll actually add on something like Roaches earlier on, but he'll stay on ground tech, get up to 4 gas, but instead of rushing Muta off 2 base like so many Zergs, he'll actually wait, get up 6 gas, and then rush Muta instead of Infestor. And we'll see how well Top's able to defend against this. I mean, nowadays, so many Zergs really don't like going Muta because Terrans just kind of know how to deal with it, and they generally defend without really taking too much damage at all. So we'll see if he's able to get the contain that he wants, actually keep Top busy, do any damage. Top already has a turret in his main mineral line, so he's definitely preparing for this possibility.
Yeah, very smart, just playing cautiously. It looks like he actually did at some point scan the main base, so he saw that there was a lair, but he didn't see any other tech. So what do you want to do in that case? Well, you just want to play safe. You don't want to line your base with turrets, but you do want to at least get up one per mineral line. And that's what he did in the main, at least. So smart play there from Top.
What an odd positioning for that Spire, man. That seems so dangerous. If Top actually went for an attack on the third, that's the first thing that's gonna die if the third's dropped on the upper ground or something. But Top's going to go take that third of his own over here. Not going to try to expand away from his opponent. Terrans generally often do like to expand towards the Zerg. Just continue sieging closer and closer and closer. And I don't know if Life has what he needs to be able to deal with this. If Top actually just pushes forward and attacks, I mean, he's trying to rush out Mutas right now. Muta's not so good against this many Marines. He needs some Banelings. There we go, 6 Banelings morphing in. I don't know if that'll be enough, though. He's going to need, for that many Banelings to actually be effective and not just get sniped by siege tanks, he's going to need to have seriously, unbelievably perfect unit control and splitting. This looks like it's going to be something unbelievably difficult for Life to hold off.
Yeah, very nice positioning on the tanks. The Mutas are now out, and he is just not going to waste any time. He's just going to try and clean this up right now.
Oh my god, the Lings are streaming in. Banelings going past the tanks. Actually, a couple engaging onto the tanks, so not... Oh, there we go. One really nice Baneling explosion on the Marines, but it's not enough. The Mutalist count is already getting thinned out, down to just 6. He's only got 3 Banelings left, but he took out the majority of that force. If he can just get some reinforcement Lings out to support his Banelings and engage in here, he should be able to clean this up. But I don't know, man. He's still sending reinforcements. Nice counterattack set up here from Life. Going straight to that third. And there's actually not that many units to defend, but actually these Marines, we'll see, should be able to clean up these Lings. And Marines, meanwhile, are actually picking off all the Mutas of Life. He actually sends those in. The Banelings go down as well to the siege tanks. This is starting to look, bleak, and there it is. That's why you don't put your Spire right there, man. He loses his Spire already.
Yeah.
With no Infestor tech here. Tier 2 is completing. That's nice, but I don't know if it's nice enough.
I mean, 2-2's going to help. If he can kind of crush this army without losing too many drones, then that upgrade lead will really compound. You see, he's only just now adding the armory, so the upgrades are going to be really delayed for Top, but he was just gaining a supply lead, and yeah, GG comes out. Just can't do it without a third base. Not going to happen.
Yeah, there's a bit of a reason why you'll generally see players in ZVT, they'll either go 1 Evo and go up to Spire, or they'll go double Evo and go up to Infestor. And the reasoning is that if you're just staying on ground units and you're really relying on Ling Bane, it obviously makes sense to get double upgrades. And you're not spending your gas quite as early. You're waiting for those Infestors. You can spend a little more gas on Banelings. You don't need a critical mass of Infestors. You can just make as much as you have money for. Yeah. So you can actually afford to make all those Banelings in there, regardless of having spent so much gas on double upgrades. But if you're going for Muta, to spend that much gas on double upgrades for ground units and also try to save up enough to make a Muta ball. Mutas are not like Infestors. You can't make 6 and be okay and have them be useful. You need an actual decent amount for them to, to actually be able to one-shot Marines or, really kill SCVs quickly or kill off tanks in a certain amount of time. So to try to rush double upgrades, it meant that, and rushing a Spire while he was taking his third base, what that meant was that he didn't have gas to make Banelings beforehand. So even though he added his Baneling nest just in case, he hadn't actually started any Banelings in preparation for that push. And if you don't have any Banelings when that many Marines are arriving, you're just kind of going to be dead. So a little bit of a risky build there from Life.
Yeah, the other thing I would add, too, is just the creep spread wasn't quite... it didn't have as much oomph as I think it really should have. If he could have kind of pushed that out much closer to the Xel'Naga Watchtower between the two of them, would have been a lot easier to deal with that push. But he just didn't have it going. He was really more focused on the drone count. He didn't get as many queens as that's the gasless style where players will get those 4 queens out, and really it lets their creep spread kind of explode in the mid game once you deal Dallion. So I don't know, a bit of a tough game there for Life, but
yeah, it's
Top definitely earned that win.
It seems sometimes Zerg players, if they don't go for that quad queen gasless, if they have the gas, oh, okay, I don't need as many queens, I've got speedlings, not a big deal, but it would still be definitely good to add on at least 1 extra, get that crew spread really exploding out there. But I think a lot of what happened in that game came down to that really odd choice by Life to make a ridiculous amount of Zerglings early on. Remember that? He went up to over 24, maybe 30 lings or something, really early in the game against a full wall Terran. just to kind of hold map control. I think it was just a misread. He thought Hellions were going to come out, that he was going to need a surround, and they didn't. And he ended up putting his drone count so far behind from that. His tech was delayed, his third was delayed. And generally when you're taking a speedlings that early like that, you're doing it to take that third, and yet his third was so much later than we would have expected based on that. So, I don't know, weird start to that game for Life. Maybe he wasn't comfortable on the map, who knows, but we're going to move into game 2 and see if he can start to make a comeback here, or if Top's going to take a 2-0 victory. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with this match after the quick commercial
break.
Quick commercial break. I don't know